So anyway, besides that, and then the earth itself, we need to spend a little time on the earth itself. The people who live the longest, they out there, they're in nature, right connected to nature itself, day and night, and they live long lives. I'm asking for a city person to at least get 1 hour on the earth every day and get that magnetic energy, get that electromagnetic energy, that frequency that's coming off the earth to feed our bodies. We need that magnetic energy to feed our, we're electrical bodies. We need to plug in. We need to ground ourselves to the earth itself. We're constantly wearing shoes, and we're on concrete, we're in buildings and cars, insulating ourselves, separating ourselves from the earth. So we need to spend some time on the earth. I'm going to say, please, a half an hour to an hour a day. Besides sun, breathe slow and deep, drink the good water, hydrate yourself, and spend some time on the earth. At least a half an hour to an hour. That takes care of that.
That was number 2, the environment. Great. That's awesome, Lou. I'm sure everybody got inspired by that. We're going to move on to number 3, which is one of my favorites. Of course, all 4 of my favorites. You know, I like to do them all. But exercise is particularly enjoyable for me. I don't even know why it's called exercise. I just call it going out and having fun. You know, whether it's riding my bike, stretching out, or just moving around, go to the gym, anything, man. So talk about cellular exercise, number 3 principle.
Cellular exercise there's 2 forms of exercise, in essence. We have external form of exercise is basically, like calisthenics, weightlifting, running, sports, that type of stuff. That's the more like the external form of exercise. The internal form of exercise, the cellular form of exercise that affects you from a cellular standpoint, where it taps into every cell in your body, where you're oscillating every cell in the body, stimulating the lymphatic system that actually purifies, cleans, flushes, and regulates you. That is the most important one. So if you're going to do a workout, you're better off to make sure you do at least 20 minutes of cellular type exercise, internal form of exercise, before you do the external. Now in my case, I haven't worked out for 40 years, since I got out of high school in 1970, as far as external form of exercise. I've been doing the internal. I just haven't been able to get to the external side. See, when I was in high school, I used to do external form of exercise. I used to do like a little bit of weightlifting, calisthenics, tons of calisthenics, stretching, but running, sports stuff, that kind of stuff. I didn't do too much internal stuff. But when I got into this kind of life, I learned that the priority was internal form of exercise. It's more powerful. Like the guy who mentored me, the guy was the strongest man I've ever met in my whole life, besides the other 2 mentors I've met since then. But what was interesting is all he did was 2 hours of stretching and breath work every day. 2 hours every day of stretching and breath work, and that's it. But yet, he could pick up an amount of weight that was beyond anything I've ever seen. There's no man I can even imagine that could pick up the kind of weight I saw him do. Things he could do physically was off the charts. I'll show you a position. I don't know if we should show it now or later.
Let's finish up the principles, and then we'll show them the.
Okay, but I'm telling you, when he did that core strength movement for me, and he did it for nearly 10 minutes in holding position, when I tried to do it, I couldn't even do it at all. But when he got done with me, I got up to 3 minutes, which is really difficult to even get up to 3 minutes. But he did 3 times what I could do, the guy was master, he's amazing. But all I'm trying to say is that this thing about exercise, here's the internal form of exercises you want to consider to add to your life. This is the most important thing. If you're for good health and longevity, never get sick again, you want to do at least 20 minutes every day of this type of internal form of exercise, where it actually affects and stimulates every cell in your body. It actually stimulates the lymphatic system, which is part of your immune system, right? Your immune system has a fluid inside that system that has more fluid in that system than your bloodstream. Now your bloodstream has a pump, a heart, to circulate the blood throughout the body, to feed it, detoxify it, the cells and all that. But the lymph fluid, that lymph fluid doesn't have a pump. The only way you can move that fluid is the one that washes and cleans you inside. It's part of the immune system. It's part of its job. It can take white blood cells and go from the blood into the lymphatic fluid and then carry the toxins outside of the body. And how it does it is the lymph fluid passes through your whole system, picking up toxins and then driving the toxins out of the system through the 4 eliminative organs. The skin, because that's a big eliminative organ in itself, through sweating, perspiring, right? And another one is through the lungs, perspiring. And the other one is through defecation, through the bowels. That's another way. And the other one is through the kidneys, through the urination. So through defecation, urination, perspiration, and respiration. And so these toxins come out through the lymph fluid. But we need to stimulate the lymph fluid. We need to move that fluid throughout our bodies. And the only way you can do it is by these simple methods. One way is to doing the breath work. Breathe in, hold, let it out, hold, and then do it again and again and again for at least 20 to 30 minutes a day. That's one way. That will stimulate the lymph system. It works. It's powerful when you really know how to do it. The other way is rebounding. Rebounding is a miniature trampoline. You jump up and down. I don't care if it's big or little. Just jump on that thing 20 minutes every day. My friend was 450 pounds, and he jumped on that thing 20 minutes every day, sometimes twice a day. And he went from 450, he was a big guy, and he went to 190 in 2 years with no sag and no flab. Now that's pretty impressive. And I have to tell you, when I studied and I learned about the whole lymph system and how to stimulate it and all that, and oscillate the cells and all that, and when I found out how powerful rebounding was, and how when you jump up and down going against gravity, it oscillates every cell. They proved it. It's documented. And it stimulates the lymph. So it's a powerful way to go. When I tell you, years ago when we were working with this one guy, he had a big tumor like this, the size of a big grapefruit, and it was malignant. And he jumped on that rebounder, not 20 minutes once a day. He did it therapeutically. He did 30 minutes 3 times a day. 30 minutes of jumping up and down 3 times a day. But you know what? 4 months later, by following these 4 principles, but in this particular principle, as far as the cellular exercise, he chose the rebounder. The rebounder is a no-brainer. You just get on the thing and go up and down, 20 minutes once a day for maintenance. But therapeutically, if you do 30 minutes 3 times a day and go up and down on that thing, it's definitely going to work your lymph. But see, the lymph fluids in the lymph system, part of your immune system, has lymphocytes. These lymphocytes have the ability to gobble up toxins, cancer cells. It just gobbles up and cleans everything up in your system. But you need to stimulate the lymph to do it, you see? So that's why rebound is really powerful. But another form of cellular exercise besides rebounding is also swimming. Swimming nonstop for 20 minutes a day would be a great thing for everybody to do, as long as it's non-toxic water, right? So if the water's polluted with chemicals or toxic material or a lot of bad bacteria, I probably wouldn't want to swim in that. But all I'm saying is swimming is another way. If you swim in good, decent water, swim 20 minutes nonstop, or maybe 30 minutes nonstop. If you do that 2-3 times a day, that's powerful. That's powerful. You want to get really healthy, you want to really be strong, then you do that at least twice a day. Before you do calisthenics and weightlifting and all that other stuff you want to do for definition, do more of the cellular stuff first. That's the initial part. If I was a physical trainer, I would definitely make sure everybody is trained to stimulate the lymph system first and get the energy going, And when you do 20 minutes of rebounding every day, the first 10 minutes is just warm-up time. Where the real magic happens is the next 20 minutes. I mean, the next 10 minutes of the 20. The last 10 minutes of that 20 is where the real magic is happening. That first 10 minutes is just tuning in, working it up, and getting the energy going, getting the energy flow. But that next 10 minutes, oh yeah, that's when the real magic's happening. So anyway, if you do at least 20 minutes a day for maintenance, you're in good shape. And I've seen enough people get well, slim up, trim up, but they need to do this one thing. That's why this principle is vital, because you do breath work. The one I do is I do stretching and breath work. Sometimes I do rebounding, sometimes I do swimming, but most of my stuff is. Oh, another thing you could do is, now I'm not a dancer, but dancing is another good one. If you dance hardcore for 20 minutes once or twice a day. That's another form of stimulating the lymph
Okay.
system. So dancing is a good thing. And I promised myself when I get the books and DVDs out of my way, I'm going to take some dancing lessons and I'm going to learn how to dance because I don't know how to dance. And I want to learn how to dance because I think dance is awesome and fun, And but another thing that's really great is doing hot cold. So I don't care if you take hot cold showers or maybe take a hot bath and then get into some cold shower and you try to do that kind of thing. Do detox bath and rinse off with cold water, or go to some spa and break some sweat and then jump in the cold what do you call it, the cold plunge with ice water. Go in there. So I can go in there and take a hot sauna for 15-20 minutes and break sweat, just sweat, and then go jump in the cold plunge and stay in there for 5 minutes in the cold plunge, immersed in the ice water. 5 minutes, it's a long time in that ice water. Just breathe into it.
Yeah.
Toughen up, you guys. Toughen up. You can do it, But at first it's kind of shocking, but, you toughen up after a while. Anyway, so that pretty much covers this principle here. Just make sure that you take time to do some breath work, stretch, hot, cold showers, rebound, swimming, whatever.
Nurture yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we get to work on talk about everyone's favorite principle.
Uh-huh.
What's for dinner?
Right.
What's to eat?
Yeah, exactly.
Nutrition, cellular nutrition. This is